Hello, everybody. Neil Katz here, co-founder of Eyelevel.ai, and I am here today with two amazing guests who have a fascinating story to tell. First, I'll introduce you to Stephanie Silvestri. She's an award-winning CIO and currently the CEO and founder of Avatar Buddy, which is building really interesting and unique AI experiences and knowledge agents. We'll get into that. And with us as well, Carlos Quiroz from the Belizean government. Hopefully I said that correctly, or I will be corrected by these two. If I got it wrong, that's okay. And he is the coordinator of the 501 Academy, which is a digital program in the country to bring historical and educational resources using AI and other technology to the people of Belize. So welcome, both of you. How are you?
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining me. I would love if we just start with what is this 501 program? What is the core idea, and how is AI a part of it?
All right, so I guess I could start off. So the 501 Academy is a program at the Ministry of Education in Belize, particularly managed by the Science and Technology Unit within the ministry. And we've been tasked with finding tech solutions to support the education sector in Belize. 501 Academy is a website in which we identify that one of the challenges we face is to provide education, access to education resources in a timely manner, but also having it open access for teachers and students to use. So the 5-1 Academy is a response to that challenge. Um, Inside the 5-1 Academy, particularly, we have another program in which we're digitizing Belizean history, Belizean culture, because we've also identified that one of the challenges we have is access to artifacts to teach Belizean history and Belizean culture. And so within that program, we partnered with the Belize National Institute of Culture and History, and they have started their process of digitizing the resources um, they can get access to in terms of the copyright holders have given them permission to digitize it with the purpose for education, and we provide the platform for sharing those artifacts digitized. So we're talking about historic magazines, newspapers,
Yeah.
biographies on Belizeans that have been very impactful in the development of Belize in all sectors, culture, technology. We've also been able to digitize some old publications from publishing houses that have given us full access to making those publications open source as well. But also, we've partnered with private donors who have photograph collections, video collections that want to contribute their collection to education in Belize. So the program, the goal and the aim of the program is to provide resources to support education in Belize.
Stephanie, I want you to jump in here because I'd love to hear the vision that you brought here with AI and with Avatar Buddy. Because when you first pitched me on what you want to build with us, what I thought was really fascinating was the idea that a lot of Belizean culture and history and even the languages, of which there are several languages spoken in the country, Garifuna, Maya, there's African dialects, there's Creole, there's English, of course, and how a lot of that information isn't well known by the major language models. And so there's this opening for training a new piece of software with all this information. I'd love you to just give me your vision around that and how you've gone about it.
Well, I'm a proud Belizean, and if you ever run into a proud Belizean,
Hold on,
they're
say it
all
again.
every
Just to get the pronunciation right.
Belizean. Yes,
Got it. All
yes,
right. Better than mine.
yes, yes. I'm a proud Belizean, and if you've ever met proud Belizean, which if you met a Belizean, you've met a proud Belizean. Um, we're all about our history or culture. We are very diverse, and we're always willing to share and talk about it. And so I initially approached the ministry for a different use of AI, and they came up with this solution. And as soon as they started telling me, I could not wait for them to finish explaining, because I was like, I'm in, I'm in. This is way beyond what I wanted, and it aligns with what we want to use AI for. You know, using AI to preserve history, to ensure that future generations understand where they come from, to make it accessible. I mean, sometimes you go to a museum, someone has decided what I should learn about a piece of artifact in the museum, and now with I can load up all the information I have about an artifact, about a person, and then the end user decides what I get to learn, what they get to learn, instead of somebody presupposing what I should learn. Democratizes access to information. It makes it accessible to everyone, and it just creates a whole new way of engaging with content and with history that we haven't thought about before. So I have been super excited about this project, and I will just say, um, Carlos doesn't even notice. We just got the numbers in today. Since launch, the usage of the AI 501 historian has jumped 300%. When we started, it was at 13 million tokens a month, and now we're at 52 million tokens a month in about 4 or 5 months, because we launched in May, June, July, August, September. 5 months, and we're at 300% usage. So we know that this is just going to keep going upward.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
How do people access the technology? So, I mean, maybe you could even show us and bring up the chatbot. You're showing me something really cool before with the Creole dictionary, which I thought was really interesting.
Yeah. So this is our website. This is the 501 Academy. The URL is 501academy.edu.bz. And so what the first thing that users see, the teachers and the students. So when they land on this page, so we've made it that the first thing they see is the button to access the 501 historian. Now,
Right.
the website, we have other resources on there, and eventually we'll build on these resources as well. But for right now, we're prioritizing on this project in particular, the 501 historian that pulls from the Access 501 resources.
Carlos, we're now in the 501 historian, the AI software built with Stephanie's avatar buddy and our GroundX technology underneath. So to take us on tour, what are we looking at, and what are the interesting ways people can use this software?
All right. So for right now, we have 3 avatars set up. We have one for the 501 historian, which is focused on accessing things from Access 501.
Yeah.
We have the 501 teacher assistant, which the teachers, they can use that to create to design lesson plans. It supports them in that sort of work.
Amazing.
And the Creole 501 historian, which this year the Creole Association in Belize, they updated the dictionary. Creole is a Belize indigenous language. They updated their dictionary, and part of that updating, they said, well, they usually print out and you can purchase one, and the libraries they get a copy. But now with 501 Academy, they said, well, we would want you guys to have a copy, because for us it's access, it's giving access to people to learn the language. And so we took it a bit farther, and we said, well, we have this AI integration, and we'd like to get your permission to put it on there as well. And they said that's excellent. And so now the 501 the Creole 501 historian pulls from that dictionary.
I love it. So teach me some Belizean Creole. What teach me what should I have for breakfast?
Okay, so what should I have for breakfast?
This is so cool. I just love that you guys are exploring bringing things in AI that aren't part of the usual training of these AI models. I mean, that to me is such a cool vision. Everyone just assumes they know everything, but they don't. And there's parts of the world that aren't fully digitized yet. There are parts of the world that may be digitized but aren't that isn't very popular on the internet, so the models may not pick it up as much.
Right.
Doesn't mean they're not important. It doesn't mean we don't have to, keep them in, as you say, as historical record.
And that's one of the reasons we jumped on the opportunity when Stephanie presented it, because we realized the potential for something that focuses on what we wanted to focus on. We've been given access to the Creole dictionary, and we have two other indigenous languages, Maya and Garifuna, that we're working closely with the publishers of those dictionaries to have it available on Access 501, particularly on our Avatar Body platform, so that it can be used not only for just having fun translating, but it can play a big role in the preservation of the language. We have very few elders now that speak these languages, so it's impossible to get every student access to these elders to learn the language and to preserve the language. So for us, we see this as an opportunity to give access to every classroom, to every student, to be able to learn these languages and contribute to the preservation of these languages as well. It makes it easier then, and it makes it more accessible. So this is what Avatar Body gave us back after it gives you a breakdown of
how to say it. So, but I just love the idea of AI as history, preservationist. That's really interesting. But before I get into that, let me see if I can figure out how to ask what's for breakfast. So this is going to be this way of finiam for breakfast.
What do you have for breakfast?
Oh, okay. We have a breakfast. Right.
Yeah.
Actually, kind of similar English in that one.
Where I have for breakfast.
We have for breakfast.
You kind of have to run all of the words together.
Just smush it together into like a English sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. This and then I guess what's cool here is that the AI took it a bit further. See, because in my mind, I thought it would translate just to what we have for breakfast, but it went a bit further, and I guess it found the translation for eating. The Creole word they use for eating, which is nyam. So it found a way to squeeze that into the translation as well. Which is still, I guess, help me out, Stephanie. It's still the same, right? It's just
Well, with different parts of the country say stuff slightly different. I'm having a running conversation with Feline Caetano, who is a chief librarian in Belize and language preservationist, and she says "morning" and I say "morning," and when you're saying it, it sounds the same, but when she spells it, I spell it with a W, she spells it with an R. It's the same thing though. We both are talking about the same, saying good morning.
So in addition to the language, this is a history tool and a cultural and art tool as well, right? You've loaded a lot of that information in. So what are some of the interesting things you can do with the 501 Historian / Avatar Buddy?
So one of the things I enjoyed is asking it to position yourself put yourself in this position and write a speech on a particular topic of Belizean history.
Okay.
So let's say you're the Prime Minister of Belize. I mean, that's an easy one now. Write me a speech as the Prime Minister of Belize addressing the nation, the significance of the inter So this one is very. If we'll see what it gives us back, because it's yes, it's general in that it can pick up that it's writing a speech for the prime minister, but the topic of the internationalization of Belizean independence, there's not a lot of information on the web on this topic, and so one of the programs under Access 501 was to research some more on this topic in particular. And so Access 501, the library has a decent amount of information on the topic.
This is interesting. So the journey was not a solitary one. Required
Right. So,
worthy, encouraged,
yes.
inspirational.
Yes.
Yeah, this is. I mean, this is great. So, Stephanie, maybe take us on a little more macro now, the bigger vision. Who you dream? Maybe the prime minister should be using it. Who else using the software? And what should they be doing with it? What's the big dream here?
Well, my utopian dream for Belize as it relates to AI and bringing in access is wanting to have conversations around how we can take all of the government information about getting a passport, about getting a piece of land, about getting a birth certificate, all these things, and be able to put all of that information in the AI so that people that maybe aren't able to understand all the information, the AI can explain it to them at a level that they can understand. We want to be able to make it more accessible to everyone. So if you speak Garifuna or Mayan and you don't speak English, that the AI will translate the information very easily to those languages for you. We want to be able to have it be a source that you can navigate the complexities of government by just going to one place and then being able to ask the AI a question or just explaining to the AI what it is that your situation, and the AI will tell you which government entity can help you, the telephone number, and who to ask for when you go to those government entities. And then obviously continuing to preserve Belizean history. I think that as we build out 501 Historian, what we'll see is, and as the technology evolves, what we'll see is that Belize becomes a blueprint for other countries that maybe isn't big enough to get on the Google and OpenAI of the world's radar, but we're still important citizens. And so what we see is being able to have a solution that any country that wants to preserve their history is no longer at the mercy of big companies dictating how and when they can do it, that they can take control of it. And one of the really, really great things is that since we've upgraded our small language model to run on GroundX, the richness and the quality of the information that the AI returns has improved exponentially. And now people are, I will say, that was written by AI. You sure? Because of the way we have configured AI agents to behave, and then being able to access the data in such an effortless manner using GroundX's small language model, and then just being ever easy to route through to one of the appropriate large language models the engine. And so by using GroundX, we are also able to put a fence around the data, ensure that the data is accurate, what's being returned is accurate. And the really cool thing that I absolutely love is the fact that GroundX allows us to click and go right to the point of the document. So if a document, 256 pages, I don't have to go searching through that. It says page 57 to page 59. I click on it, it drops me to page 57, and I can read and validate what the AI is bringing back. So we feel like those features and functionality, partnering with Carlos and the ministry and Namrita and the CEO. We have lots of long runway, and we're hoping that other ministries of government in Belize will also enroll in this really cool things. And I'm just gonna say it again because I am like super excited. I mean, like I'm a proud Belizean, and the fact that we've deployed something and in 5 months the usage have increased 300%. I mean, it just tells you that we are ready for it. The Belizeans in Belize and in Belizean diaspora around the world are ready for this kind of solution.
I love that. I love everything you just said, Carlos. What's your dream for the future with this? And give us a closing remark. How do you think the people of Belize can really use this technology?
Well, speaking specifically to the Access 501 project, my academic background is in history and anthropology, and so I have a particular passion for those things and culture. So for me, I see it as a tool to elevate the teaching of Belizean history and culture, to improve the teaching of Belizean culture and history as well. One of the challenges that area has always struggled with is access to resources. We have people publishing on Belizean history and culture, but we don't have enough of it. And so, but what we do have is we have, I mean, where culture happens, things get created now. So it's not to say that we don't have a culture. It's just that the curation and the research into it isn't enough. And so I see AI as a way to help bridging that gap. Instead of waiting the traditional process for taking these material and having it go through the full process without not having enough people doing that. I see AI as an opportunity to bridge that gap, pulling from these newspaper articles, pulling from these poetry, pulling from an artist's poetry, pulling from magazines, pulling from videos. I know recently one of the updates we were told is that our avatar can now pull from audio, and so I can see it being used to pull from oral history as well, recording elders that maybe aren't able to read and write, but they remember certain events in their communities, or they remember the history of their communities. I can see the AI Access 501 bridging that gap, you know, um, for us. And then in terms of the usage, I can see ideally I would want, or we would want, sorry, teachers to be more aware of it, and use it in their designing of lessons and experiences in the classroom as well. So the end game for us is to get more teachers using it in the classroom and designing the experience for their students.
Carlos, I love it. I mean, this vision of using AI for art, for culture, for history preservation, for education. I think in a lot of ways, you guys are both on the cutting edge of what this technology can do by bringing in data and content that the models don't know much about today. You guys are actually literally improving the face of AI for the whole world, and I think that's an amazing vision. So thank you both for joining me today. I'm really grateful.
Thank you, Neil. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you very much, guys. It's amazing to talk about this stuff.
Well, thank you both.
Yeah.
Have a great day.